In German Bundesliga 2-0-4-5 Bundesliga round 13, Van Foreest chooses Sicilian defense prince variation, leading to an intense fight against Van Wely. On e4. On c5. Knight f3. On d6. On d4. Threatening pawn takes c5. On takes d4 played by Van Wely. Knight takes d4. Knight f6. This position is typical of Sicilian defense prince variation. On f3. On e5. Threatening pawn takes d4. Knight b3 played by Van Foreest. On d5. Bishop g5. On d4. On c3. Van Foreest might go for. On takes d4. On takes d4. Queen takes d4, and increase their advantage significantly. Knight c6 played by Van Wely. On takes d4. On takes d4. Bishop b5. Bishop b4 check. Bishop d2. Threatening bishop takes b4. Queen b6 played by Van Wely. Bishop takes c6 check. On takes c6. Bishop takes b4. Queen takes b4 check. Queen d2. Threatening queen takes b4. Rook b8 played by Van Wely. Queen takes b4. Rook takes b4. Knight a3. Van Foreest's idea is to play king castled queenside, king castled kingside. Knight takes d4. Rook b6. On b3, and increase their advantage significantly. On c5 played by Van Wely. Rook c1. It is novelty move. Threatening rook takes c5. King castled kingside played by Van Wely. Rook takes c5. Bishop e6. Knight c2. Threatening knight takes b4. Rook a4 played by Van Wely. Knight c1. Van Foreest is preparing to play. On b3. Rook a6. Knight takes d4 and sees the initiative. On d3 played by Van Wely. Van Wely might go for Knight d7. Rook c6. On takes c2, and increase their advantage significantly. Knight takes d3 played by Van Foreest. Rook takes a2. King f2. Rook d8. Threatening rook takes d3. Rook c3 played by Van Foreest. On g5. King e3. On a5. Knight d4. Rook e8. Rook hc1. On a4. Knight c6. Van Foreest's idea is to play Knight cb4. King g7. Knight takes a2 and gain a significant edge. On a3 played by Van Wely. Rook takes a3. Rook takes a3. On takes a3. Rook a8. Rook c3. Knight d7. Knight d4. King f8. On g3. Bishop h3. King f2. On h5. King e3. Bishop f1. On h4. Van Foreest might go for on takes g5. Bishop takes d3. King takes d3, and increase their advantage significantly. Bishop takes d3 played by Wely. King takes d3. Knight e5 check. King e3. Foreest is aiming to play. Pawn takes g5. Rook a6. Knight f5. King g8. King e2. King h7. King d2. Knight d7. Pawn f4. Knight f8, and increase their advantage significantly. Pawn g4 played by Wely. Pawn takes g4. Knight takes g4 check. King f4. King e7. Knight f5 check. King d7. Rook d3 check. King c7. Knight e3, a masterful performance by Foreest.